Ecosystems contain lots of living organisms that interact with each other in some amazing ways. These interactions often involve the transfer of matter and energy from one organism to another.
And these relationships can be portrayed in food chains and food webs.
The source of energy for any food chain or food web comes from the sun, and the sun's energy reaches the earth as light and heat. Since plants can capture this energy and convert it into their own food, they are known as producers. As a result, the first link with any food chain begins with a plant. The second link of any food chain is occupied by a plant-eating animal or herbivore. Since animals cannot create their own food, they must eat and consume their energy from other sources. These plant-eating herbivores are called primary consumers. The organisms in the third link of any food chain are called secondary consumers. And finally, some food chains have tertiary consumers. These meat-eating carnivores often make up the top of the food chain, and many of them are apex predators. You probably recognize a lot of apex predators like lions, sharks, eagles, and leopards. Food chains often include arrows to illustrate the direction of energy flow. As the energy from organisms passes from one level to another, only about 10% of it gets stored in the next organism. This is due to the fact that most of the energy is lost as heat or undigested food. While food chains are helpful and informative in their own way, ecosystems rarely interact in such a straightforward manner. Most animals eat a variety of other plants or animals, depending on what is available and abundant. Thus, ecosystems have food webs made up of multiple food chains that interact together constantly. Food webs paint a broader picture of the possible interactions among producers and consumers at various levels. Food web diagrams show all the possible feeding relationships within an ecosystem. Finally, food webs also include decomposers like bacteria and fungi. When organisms die, these decomposers break them down into simple molecules. And these nutrient molecules can then be recycled by plants at the beginning of the food web. Food webs do a great job showing how living things are connected in the web of life.
Hi guys, Dr. Tom here, DIY Science Guy. And so now it's time to do our activity. Because if you just watch it, you forget. But if you do it, you remember. So let's do it.
Is it possible to make a model of a food chain or food web using everyday materials? Materials needed: paper, pipe cleaners, markers, tape, glue, scissors, and beads. Choose the organisms that will make up your food chain or web. Draw each of the organisms that you need. Cut out each of the organisms. And then glue on the organisms in their correct position on the chain. And then label each of the organisms. Now add arrows to show how the energy is transferred. If possible, add beads to show how energy is lost from level to level. You can also make a food web if you're up for the challenge. Good luck with your food chain or food web.